I've helped over 24 sports coaches create and scale online training businesses to do over $10,000 a month, with my best client doing over $100,000 a month. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the traits that my most successful clients have, so that way you can kind of do a self-reflection and see if you embody these same traits. And if this is your first time here, my name is Nick. I run an online consulting company teaching sports coaches how to achieve time and financial freedom by leveraging social media and online training. I used to run an online training business myself, scaled it to over $32,000 a month, trained over 250 athletes in just 10 months, did over $250,000 in sales, and now I teach sports coaches how to do the exact same thing that I was doing. So now that you actually believe that I know what I'm doing and that I actually have some sort of credibility, let's get into it, right? So I've worked with over 170 coaches now in the last 12 months. And there are some clients that obviously get really great results, and there are some clients that maybe don't get the best results. And I wanted to make this video to show you guys that, there is a science to this, right? There is a definitive archetype of, client that I've seen that actually gets the best results, right? And so a lot of people maybe see success of my clients, or they see the testimonials that I put out there. I've got 25 at least on this YouTube channel, with a bunch more coming. And the biggest thing, number one, that all these people have in common is that, number one, they're actually a good coach, which sounds so basic. It sounds so obvious, right? Like, of course, people that are good coaches are going to have the most success, but it's the most fundamental thing. And oftentimes the simplest things and the most basic things are the ones that have the biggest amount of impact, right? Everyone gets caught in the weeds thinking about, oh, maybe it's this line on my Instagram bio, or if I promote it a little bit better. Like, at the end of the day, if you're a really good coach, that's what's actually going to get you results, right? Why do you think I've been able to scale my company to working with over 170 coaches in less than 12 months in a brand new market, a brand new offer? It's because I actually know what I'm doing. It's because I'm actually a good coach. And it's the exact same thing for the coaches that I work with, right? All of my best clients, they are actually good at what they do. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they came in with a client roster of 100 and, they're absolutely killing it. I've had people come into my program, never having really coached anybody before, no coaching experience, but they played at a high level, whatever sport it is, and they really, really care about their athletes, right? And that is what makes them a good coach, is the fact that they have the experience to, help athletes kind of overcome the obstacles that they're currently having, right? So number one is you have to actually be a good coach, right? Number two is the willingness to learn, okay? So I've had people come into my program, and played at the highest levels in their sports. I've worked with ex-major leaguers. I've worked with, people that played Division I football, or, all over the place, right? I've worked with some pretty high level clientele, and the most successful people that I've had are willing to learn, right? Because sometimes I have people come into my program, they have, a really strong pedigree, and on paper, they should absolutely kill it. But then they get into my program and I tell them to do something and they're like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. It's not really for me. That's for somebody else. And it's like, okay, that's awesome. However, this is what's required to have success, right? And they give up. They give up because they are not willing to learn, right? They think that because they've had success to this point in their life, or maybe they had success as an athlete, maybe they were a better athlete than me, they're not willing to learn. Okay, they're not willing to do something new. And it sounds so crazy when, I work with some really high level clients. I work with some people that were amazing athletes, and then they get into my program and they don't want to listen to me, right? Because I don't know if it's an ego or whatever it is, right? It could be something different for everybody. Okay. But they're not willing to learn new things. And so they make excuses as to why they're not doing the things that I'm telling them to do, right? And the system can't work if you don't run the plays, right? And you won't run the plays unless you're willing to learn what those plays are. And so I get pushback from people sometimes when I tell them to post a certain way or send more DMs or get on sales calls or increase their prices. or change their program, whatever it is that we're telling people to do, they think that they know better, even though they've never done what I've done or worked with the amount of people that I've worked with, right? And you probably worked with an athlete before who, for some reason, has a huge ego about like, oh no, I don't know. Like, I think I'm going to do this. Like, this is working for me, even though they're not really having the success that they want. And what I've learned is that it actually ties back to, an insecurity, right? Nobody has an ego unless they're actually insecure, because they don't want to be told that they could be doing better. Their ego can't handle it. And so that's why they're unwilling to learn, right? And so that kind of ties directly into number 3, is that they have confidence that they can make it work, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean like confidence in front of the camera or confidence that they know how to train athletes online. A lot of the people that come into my program have never been in front of the camera before, have never trained anybody online, have never posted anything on social media. They know nothing and they get results. Why is that? It's because they believe deep down that they can do it. Okay? They're not hiding behind their ego, putting out this false sense of confidence to the world because they want other people to think they're confident. They're actually confident within themselves, and they believe that they are capable of achieving great things. However, they just need the blueprint. And that's exactly what my program provides, right? Is the blueprint. So if you follow the blueprint every single step of the way, you're going to have success, whether it be in 2 weeks or 6 months or 12 months, right? A lot of my best case studies, guys have been working in my program for 6, 9, 12 months, right? Because the longer that you work at something, the better you're going to get at it. But you're not going to stick through the difficult times if you do not have the confidence in yourself that one day it's going to work out, right? Anybody that dips their toe in the water, oh, let's see. I'm like, I don't know if this is worth it for you, right? I used to try and hard close people like that. Now I just tell them like, look, I don't know if this is worth it for you. Because if you're just dipping your toe in the water, if you're just like, let's see, you're going to work for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It's going to get difficult at some point. And you're going to quit because you deep down don't have the confidence that it's going to work. You're looking for reasons as to why it's not going to work instead of figuring out ways to make it work, okay? I believe that in life, success is a choice. Success is a choice, okay? Too many people out there are giving their power to other people and saying, oh, I can't be successful because of XYZ 1, 2, 3. And if you're that type of person, please do not book a call with my team. Please do not talk to us. We don't want to talk to you, okay? Because a lot of people out there think that success is outside of their control, which is not true, okay? There is somebody that has been in a worse situation than you that is way further ahead of you, okay? And if that's the case, if there was somebody else who was in a worse situation and has made it further than you or has had the levels of success that you want, then you cannot blame your circumstances for your lack of success, right? The only reason you blame your circumstances for your lack of success is because you don't want to look internally and say, oh, wow, like I am in the position that I'm in because of it's my own fault. And most people's ego can't take that because they're too insecure and they've never done the internal work to actually look in the mirror and say, I need to make a change. I need to learn from somebody else. I need to pay somebody to teach me how to do what I want to do, right? And so that brings us to number 4, okay, the work ethic. I have made a concerted effort. I don't know if that's a word. I've made a deliberate effort to show in my marketing that online training is not easy, that growing an online training business is not easy. Okay, I wish that it was. Okay, I wish that it was. I would probably make way more sales, way more money, have way more clients, all that, right? But it's not. It's not easy. It actually takes a lot of work. It takes dedication. Sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're not going to have the success that you want, okay? But if you have a good work ethic, you will be willing to push through those tough times and you will do the work that's required, right? Because at the end of the day, business is a math game. It's a numbers game, okay? And if you understand those numbers, then you know, okay, if I put in this many inputs into this system, I will get this many outputs. My program is the system, okay? But the system does not work. It does not give you the outputs that you want unless you put in the inputs, right? You put in the work into the system that's been created to get the outputs that you require. And if you want more outputs, you have to change your inputs. Okay. But most people, or, the people that are unsuccessful in my program, they come through and they say, oh, like I have this system, like everything should magically work. And that's just not how reality is. That's not how the world works. Okay. You can't just swipe your credit card, pay me and my company thousands of dollars, and then expect to, automatically just get results. You're not entitled to results. Okay. Most people who are unsuccessful will blame their external circumstances. They won't put in the work. They will not listen to other people, and they don't do the work to actually become the coach, the level of coach that is worthy of having this level of success, right? All online training is doing is just amplifying what you're doing in person, right? It's allowing you to reach more people. It's allowing you to train more people, essentially give your one-on-one in-person lessons, but through a phone that you've documented and they can follow it along, right? That's all online training is. It's creating a more scalable way to help more athletes, okay? And it does take work. Think about your in-person training business. It probably wasn't an overnight thing where you just snapped your fingers and boom, oh my God, now I have a bunch of athletes, or now people are asking me how they can work with me, right? It doesn't work like that. You have to put in the inputs, okay? So if you are thinking about doing online training and you do not have these 4 character traits, you do not have these 4 qualities, you need to go get them. You need to do the internal work and look at yourself and say, okay, am I actually a good coach? If you're not a good coach, you need to learn from somebody else who is a good coach, who can teach you how to be a better coach, right? If that's you, then my program's not for you. I'm going to show you how to grow online. I'm not going to show you how to, if you're a baseball coach, teach a hitter how to hit. I'm not going to teach you how to do that. That is not what we do, okay? So if you're not a good coach, you need to get the help necessary to become a good coach, okay? Number 2, if you're not willing to learn, you need to look internally and think, why does my ego not let me listen to somebody else? Why? Was it, it could be from childhood trauma. When I was in college, I didn't want to listen to anybody because my ego was so fragile that I built up this shell and didn't listen to anything that anybody had to say, right? Because I couldn't handle the criticism, and then I did my own internal work, and now all I want is feedback, right? Because I see it as data. I don't see it as an attack on my ego. Somebody saying that I'm not good enough, right? It's not an attack on my ego. I've been told that I'm not good enough plenty of times in my life to know that all it is just data to learn from and improve upon, right? Number 3, okay? Number 3, if you don't have the confidence, that good things can happen to you, you probably need to do some internal work and understand, why do I believe that good things can't happen to me? Why do I not think that I'm capable of making this work? Why do I not think that success is within my control? And once you figure that out, you can actually start making changes in your life towards getting to where you want to get to. But until you tackle that, until you understand, why do I not have confidence in my ability to make things work? It's probably because when you tell yourself that you're going to do something, you don't do it. And so when you say, I'm going to do online training, it's no different than when you told yourself you were going to get out of bed at 8 a.m. When you told yourself you were going to make that Instagram post, when you told yourself that you were going to have that difficult conversation and you didn't. So when you tell yourself that you're going to do online training, what does your mind deep down think? No, you're not, because every other time you've told yourself that you're going to do something, you didn't do it. So you need to start making promises to yourself and keeping them. Make promises to yourself, keep them. That is how you develop confidence, okay? And then number 4, if you don't have a work ethic, I don't know how to teach that, right? Maybe it's because you don't have a strong enough why, okay? If you just want to dip your toe in online training, make a couple grand a month, that's awesome. But do not ask me to help you, right? Because you won't be willing to do the things that I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to work hard. I'm going to ask you to do things that you've never done before and push through the challenges, right? So if you don't have a strong work ethic, then it's probably because you don't have a strong why. It's probably because you're not super ambitious and you don't really have this big, huge, scary goal. You probably need to raise your standards, right? And stop settling for less. And look, if you want to be average, that's fine. The world needs average people too. But success is not for average people. Success is for people that are actually good at what they do. They've put in the work to be good at what they do. They're willing to learn and grow and adapt and change. They have confidence that things are going to work out for them. And they have the work ethic to, when they have the system, to put in the inputs, to get the necessary outputs to achieve the goals that they have. So if you're not that person, don't book in a call with me. But if you are, we'd love to work with you. I hope you guys appreciate this video. I'll catch you in the next one.